Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Warriors episode 560. Woo! As always, I'm your host, Justin Baker, and as always, I'm joined by Viable Human Chris Saturn.
Hi, Justin.
Hi, Saturn. We made it. We're here.
Yay.
Last show of the week.
Yeah.
That's it. And we don't got to record anymore. Well, I got to record next Thursday, but then that's it. Well, also,
we also have to record next Tuesday.
I have to record Tuesday, but then that's it. That's all I got. Just Tuesday, Thursday,
anyway.
And the following Thursday, and then it's fine. It's good times.
Don't you record every Thursday?
I do. I record every Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
You and Andrew are every other. I'm every Thursday, every fourth Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm on all of them. I'm everywhere. No one can. I like to imagine there's one listener that hates me but likes all of you a lot, and they're like, God, this fucking guy just won't get out of these fucking episodes. Just have one show without Justin. And I'm over here like, yeah, Bad Dudes is good. Housekeeping, we have a Matrix server. There's links in the show description.
Yes.
Chat with us in the Matrix.
Yes.
It's a good time.
It's a lot of fun.
I feel like I've just about adjusted to it. There are still some, little issues, and I'm like, this is an annoyance or whatever, but not any more than I already had on Discord. So it's kind of, annoyance-wise been a wash, and then privacy-wise been vastly superior.
I had a friend of mine message me on Discord the other day, and I saw the notification on my phone. I was like, oh shit, I haven't opened up Discord in like a week.
Yeah.
And so I looked over and saw that people are in fact still talking in our Discord server that
it won't be for long.
Forgotten about, right?
I don't even have it installed anymore. It's like I do have it on my phone with the notifications turned off, but I put Linux on all my machines, so I wiped my OSs, and I just didn't reinstall Discord because why the fuck would I do that? It's adware. I don't don't want this shit. It is nice to not get ads. Oh yeah. God, it's so just to get to open a chat thing, and it's not like, do you want to buy an orb? Like I don't want to buy an orb from anyone, but especially not a chat platform. What will I do with your orb?
I'll sell you an orb.
I don't. Tell me more about this orb.
Only after the show.
All right, great. Yeah. Well, welcome to Orb Talk. It's the Talking Wizards spinoff. It's the spinoff of the spinoff, Orb Talk. I've been playing games. I've been playing more Slay the Spire 2. It's or the same amount as last episode because we recorded in 2-episode blocks. But I've been playing it every night before bed, and I've definitely been going to bed at a reasonable hour and not staying up till 1 or 2 in the morning, going just one more run. I've not been doing that. Yeah. That would be irresponsible of me to do.
We had a new guy join us on overnights because one of the previous overnight people got a promotion. So he's been forced to move to days, and so one of our new overnight guys is really not looking forward to it. He's not excited about this whole working at nights thing. And he was chatting with me, and he was like, so what do you do in your downtime? And I was like, lately mostly Slay the Spire. And he was like, I suddenly like working nights.
Kindred souls.
Right?
Also, my house now has 2 Switch 2s, which I think equals 1 Switch 4 or 4 Switch 1s, but we also still have 3 Switch 1s, so
you're
7
at Switch 7.
Switches. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. My wife bought a Switch.
Yes.
She had heard about Pokopia, and she goes, I heard about this game, Pokopia. It's like Pokemon Animal Crossing. And I was like, yeah, here, I'll show you a trailer. And I showed her a trailer, and she got mad at me. She was like, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, well, because there's not a physical version. And she's like, I'm looking at one. I was like, no, that's a key cart. And before the Switch 2 came out, I briefed her on key carts, and her response was, fuck that shit. And so I was like, all right, great. And so I was explaining to her, I was like, it hasn't come out in a way that we can own it yet.
Yeah.
And it's exclusive to the Switch 2. And she was like, oh. And I was like, so you'd have to buy a Switch 2. So she drove to Walmart right then and bought a Switch 2. And bought Pokopia and Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which is an extremely cute game. I always knew it would be. And she bought it, and it's cute. And I might play it too because it's cute. But we've been playing Pokopia. I've been seeing people go back and forth on whether they want to say it's like Minecraft or it's like Animal Crossing or it's like both. It's really like Dragon Quest Builders, I think is really what it's like.
I mean, it's the same developers as Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah, it's the same idea where it's like it's not really a Minecraft, it's not really an Animal Crossing, but it's kind of this in-between thing.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's real good. I've been playing it. It's as a longtime Pokemon fan. I guess I don't want to spoil anything about the milieu of the world and what's going on there. But I very much enjoy these. I'm trying to figure out how to say. There's no real story, but you get little scraps of story bits that kind of piece together this unspoken story.
Yeah.
And I'm very much enjoying that sort of whatever you want to call that. Plot, I guess. There is plot. There's not really story.
The narrative.
The narrative. Thank you. My God. We would have been here all night. The wordy talk, the good.
The talky bits.
The talky bits. And the gameplay's pretty fun. It's so goddamn cute. It's that kind of cute where it like makes you like angry. It's so cute. You know that cute where like you see a cute puppy and you're like, I just want to smush it. Like that kind of. Is it just me or?
I think you were telling me the other day that it was one of those games where you and your wife just keep like showing their screen to each other. And going,
yeah, we keep flipping around. Me like, oh, look at this guy, he's so fucking cute. And
nice.
So
nice.
It
is on my radar. I'm trying to wait for it to drop in price because I really don't want to pay $70 for a game that I don't know.
See it. I paid $140 plus $500 for a Switch.
Right. Well, technically, Courtney did.
Well, I mean, we share a bank account, so,
right?
But yeah, it's really fun. I'm having a real good time with it. Soundtrack is fantastic.
Nice.
It gets a little talky, and there are times where you're like, I just shut up and let me fucking go move the blocks around. Yeah. But it's a good time. It's also sufficiently weird.
Yeah.
Plenty of real weird shit. Like you are a Ditto, and so you like gain powers and mutate your body. And like when you fall off a cliff, you don't take damage. You just splat into a goop on the ground and then reform. And your face looks weird and derpy. It's just it's that combination of cute and weird.
Well, my face already looks weird and derpy. So that's
perfect.
Right.
And you'll be used to it then. You just like looking in the mirror. Also, she bought the Mario Kart World bundle, so I redeemed her copy of Mario Kart World, which is hard to do because it's tied to the console. So you have to I had to log into my account on her Switch to redeem the game, and it's
Mario Kart.
I don't think I like it.
I don't like it as much as I liked Mario Kart 8.
Like, I was excited for Free Roam because I love Forza Horizon. I'm like, hell yes, Forza Horizon Mario Kart. I'm down.
To Free Roam.
There's not much. There's nothing. It feels like they didn't
complete
the
switches,
game. Okay.
And you collect.
And what do you get for the POW switches again?
Sometimes costumes.
So nothing. Well, I mean, I unlock costumes in regular races. Like I'll be racing.
Some of the costumes you can unlock in races. Some of them you can only unlock in Free Roam.
And why are the costumes treated as different characters on the character select screen?
That I don't like.
That's stupid. And they're organized in a weird way.
Well, you can sort their organization.
Not in a good way.
No. You can either clump them by person or put them all at the end.
It feels like they didn't... Like, if you were like, hey, the demo for Mario Kart World came out, or the alpha or something, I'd be like, oh, yeah, this could be something cool one day.
Yeah.
So
at least they finally added a function to where on the Free Roam mode, you can see which P switches and question marks you've collected. Originally, you couldn't see that. That wasn't an option.
I do like the racing. The actual races are fun. I like some of the new power-ups. They're pretty cool. The roster's neat. There's some cool characters, but just...
You can play as Crab now?
You can't play as Crab. You can play as Cow.
Yeah, Cow.
Lots of animals. Bee.
Yeah.
What I find most disappointing is going from like Mario Kart 8 Ultimate, whatever, Turbo Hyper Fighting, which feels almost like more like Nintendo Kart.
Yeah.
To just here's Mario characters again feels like a real big downgrade.
A little bit.
Like there's not even Mii's. It's just kind of feels lame. I like legitimately, if I paid $80 or $70 or $200, how much it costs, I don't know.
Right.
I would be pretty distraught. I'd be like, this is a ripoff.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with it compared to Mario Kart 8. I mean, it brings some interesting things to the table.
It does. There's a thing or two.
I like that one mode where you have to race the entire circuit at once.
Okay, is
Like
that
all
the
four-
knockout tour
Yeah,
or
Knockout
whatever?
Tour,
Okay,
that's
I
the
haven't
one.
played that
Yeah.
yet, so maybe that's what's going to sell me on it.
That one's pretty fun. My bigger problem is that for a lot of the regular races, because there's that whole area of you driving to the next course, you only end up doing one lap in the actual course itself. So you don't get enough time to actually spend in that race because you're
Yeah.
spending most of your race just getting to the race. I don't like that.
Something about not having the hard break between stages in general makes me like tunnel vision and not even realize I'm in a different stage. So like I
Right.
don't appreciate it. But also I feel like to make them work in this open world, which granted they're kind of like they're pretty stark from one another, but
Yeah.
not like Animal Crossing to F-Zero levels
Right,
of
yeah.
stark.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of homogeneity that makes it
Yeah.
feel kind of not bland, just not as
Not as Mario
unique.
Karty.
Yeah, not as Mario Karty. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's it feels like they tried to give it this cohesive thing, and it's like no, part of Mario Kart was that like what I enjoyed of it was that it was always just like this shit just sort of smashed together.
Right.
Like what if I just took all this Mario shit and crammed it in here? Like I
Yeah.
like that. But yeah. Also, I booted up Trails in the Sky 2 and did one quest, which means I'm officially playing it again. That's the rule, right? That's the rule.
Did you even finish Trails in the Sky 1?
Yeah, I finished it. I played it like 1.5 times.
I thought that was Cold Steel you were playing.
Oh, pardon me, not Trails in the Sky. Trails of Cold Steel. I put the wrong game in this. I turned on Trails of Cold Steel and I did one quest. And so that
so you're
officially
back.
means I'm back. I'm playing. I still have
you're in
not
it?
taken it out of my PlayStation. I have like 10 games in the shrink on the shelf that I'm like, I want to play you so bad, but no. I booted it up and I was guilting myself. I've been guilting myself all week about shit, and I was like, I need to play Trails of Cold Steel.
You
Just
always
not
play
feeling.
those other games to come back to it.
I don't know. I don't want to be that person. You know, I don't want to be me. Anyway, what have you been doing, Saturn?
Slay the Spire 2, a lot of that.
yeah,
Also, Peglin 2 got its update with its new fourth act.
There's a Peglin 2?
Or sorry, Peglin 1 got its new 2.0 update.
Okay. I did see that. Yeah.
So it's it adds quite a bit. Plus, all the things that are in the game already have gained a bunch of new animations and stuff to make them even more adorable than they already were. And it was already an adorable game.
Right.
So now it's an extra adorable game. But now there's this fourth act, which is just stupid hard. Just silly difficult. The new final boss that they've added, I can't do it. I don't know how I'm supposed to do it because it has like a million hit points.
Yeah.
I think it was
It's one of those bosses where you have to like
999.
have broken the game to do
Yeah.
it.
And I've not been able to do it yet. Also, it did remind me of some of my complaints with Peglin of how RNG the game is because I'd played it right after Slay the Spire, and it has a similar format to Slay the Spire where you know you play through a little map and you collect things after each match and everything. But in Peglin, you don't really get to choose the next path you take because you have to play Peggle to get to the next path, and you might bounce off a peg and go the opposite direction of where you wanted to go, and that really takes away any ability to strategize.
I do wish we had a better genre for these Slay the Spire likes because they all just get lumped under roguelite.
Right.
And some of them, like especially Peglin, are like very, very much, no, this is Slay the Spire with a different gameplay mechanic, like straight up.
Yeah.
And I think we need a Slay the Spire-like term for it.
Right.
And
Seriously.
it's, Vampire Survivors got one where they were calling them Bullet Heavens for a while.
Yep. I heard that.
Or I've also seen Survivors like quite a bit.
Yep.
We need one for Slay the Spire.
We do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
other than that, I've been messing with my Plex server a bit. I finally figured out where its permissions issue was when I was setting up the merger FS so that I could add my second hard drive into that server. I finally figured out the permissions issue, so now I can actually record television programs because I kept trying to and it kept failing for no reason. It turns out that the user account on that container needs write permissions.
Oh. Okay.
Which I should have known in the first place. I just never bothered to check. And when it kept failing, I was like, whatever, it's a mystery. It's a black box. I'll never know. And I finally
Who
decided
could ever solve this?
and I finally was like, what if it's just a permissions issue? And obviously it was. It was a very clear, obvious permissions issue. But I fixed that, so now I started recording shows from the television.
Literally, like 90% of all of my Linux issues are permissions issues.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Always.
Literally, as for anyone, because we've been talking about Linux a lot on the show, and a lot of people in the chat have been like, yeah, I've been thinking about trying it out. Do not skip learning how permissions work, because I still don't know, and it still fucks me all the time. Please just spend 20 minutes of your day and learn permissions. It will save you so much headache.
Spend a couple minutes with the manual for the chmod command.
My God.
That's half of your life. Anyway, so now it is properly recording television shows off of my antenna, and Plex's ability to automatically remove commercials is really effective. It works really well. I was surprised by how well that works.
I used it for a little bit, and I was pretty impressed with it as well. Granted, this is a couple years ago, so it's probably gotten better since.
Maybe. For all I know, it's not changed at all.
Yeah.
I also went back and added a couple of shows from my youth that I had been thinking about.
From the 20s?
Yeah, from the 2020s when I was a kid.
No, the 1920s.
Oh, right, yeah. No,
see, because you're old. That's the joke.
I am old as dirt. I feel so old lately, too, because I've been making a lot of dad noises when I stand up and sit down lately.
No.
It makes me feel real old.
Oh, no.
But no, I had added Liquid Television, which for the kids who don't remember, because that was a show from the early 90s, that is the show that spawned Beavis and Butthead.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I've heard of it.
Yeah. And I had remembered it being a really funny, like, random cartoons, random puppets and shit like that show. It also spawned Aeon Flux in addition to Beavis and Butthead. And I went back and watched it, and man, it is some surreal nightmare trippy bullshit. And watching it, like, as I was watching the first episode, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is some dark shit. And I suddenly had this thought of, maybe those, like, silent generation older boomers that were telling the MTV kids that they were fucked up and shouldn't watch so much TV were right.
Who would have known?
I am suddenly empathizing with all those people who told us to stop watching so much fucking TV, because this is weird as shit. But then I got a couple episodes in and got to the episodes that I remembered watching as a kid. I was like, no, this is great. I like this.
Now you have it. I watch a lot of your Plex, so maybe I'll sit down and watch some of it.
I also learned that they made a 4th season of Liquid Television in 2013.
Oh my God. What?
So I haven't watched that yet. So I'm going to see if the revival Liquid Television was worth it. I mean, it only lasted 5 episodes. Probably not. But I also added a couple other shows that I constantly think of in my head. Like I constantly reference them to myself, but never out loud because I know nobody else gets it.
Yeah.
And one of them was TV Funhouse, which held up. It's bad. It's not a good show, but it held up exactly.
It wasn't
as I
a good
wanted it
show
to.
then,
right?
Even at the time, it was like, this might be a bridge too far. But
yeah, it is exactly what I remember it being, though. So that was good. And then the other one was a show that literally everyone in the world forgot, which was called Hardcore TV. It aired on HBO in the early 90s as a very late night show.
Hardcore TV.
Yeah, so it was a sketch comedy show that constantly veered into almost porn.
Okay.
And the one sketch in it that I had remembered that I wanted to find, and I did find it, was parodying a Sports Illustrated commercial from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very prominent commercial. They aired it for like almost 10 years, where if you had subscribed to Sports Illustrated, they would give you a telephone in the shape of a football.
Yes. And Sports Illustrated football phone.
Yeah, and the commercial would show some dude at like a Foot Locker or some store at the mall talking on the phone, and he's talking to his wife, and he's like, honey, you won't believe what I'm talking to you on right now. It's a football. And the sketch on HCTV is if you subscribe to some porn magazine, you would get a vibrator phone. And it's a guy at a mall holding a dildo up to his head, and he's like, honey, you won't believe what I'm talking to you on right now.
This is the dumbest fucking sketch.
And 10-year-old me thought this was the funniest thing in the fucking world.
Of course, yes.
And I went back and I found the show, and it's hard to find because it was never released on DVD or anything, and HBO hasn't aired it since like 93. And so it's like some shitty old VHS dubs that somebody uploaded to YouTube 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and I'm like, one, this is terrible, and two, why did anybody let me watch this as a 10-year-old? And it occurred to me that your kid is 10 years old now, and I'm like, his kid should not be watching this.
You even texted me, and you're like, she doesn't have access to my Plex, does she? And I'm like, yeah, but it's age restricted. Like, as long as it's not PG, she won't see it.
No, she won't.
The Plex UI is still bewildering to her and my wife, so thankfully they rarely are able to navigate to your Plex.
That's good.
I was thinking about shows that I watched when I was younger and haven't seen since, and the one that always sticks out to me is Trigger Happy TV, which was it was like one of those hidden camera candid shows, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing about those shows is some of them like are hard to watch, like it's too like cringy for me. But there was one skit that never failed to be fucking hilarious to me, and it was this guy. He would he'd like walk into a busy area and take out a cell phone that was like 5 feet long, like this cartoonishly large foam cell phone, and just be like, "Hello, no, I'm talking to you on my cell phone." And the only reason it was so funny is because instantly everyone else knew that it was a joke,
right?
And so that made it like I had an easier time laughing at that.
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite bits of all time.
It is pretty great.
It's so stupid.
It's pretty dumb, but it's a great bit.
It's just one fucking guy just taking out a giant cell phone and screaming on it. And he never says anything good. It's just always, I'm talking to you on my cell phone.
Well, that's what you say whenever you answer a cell phone.
That's true. Yeah. We should do some news.
Oh, okay, yeah.
First up, Retro Achievements has added support for Wii games, which is neat.
I have seen a couple of different online forums that discuss old video games complain about this in the last week.
What? Why?
Because they insist that the Wii isn't retro.
It's 20 years old.
It's 20 years old. These are the same communities that arbitrarily cut off retro as Dreamcast and earlier, to which I say, there's a lot of games on Dreamcast that are also on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. You can't make that distinction. I refuse to allow you.
I just don't.
Same generation.
Like the Wii came out when I was in high school. I'm almost 40. I got a wife and a kid. Yeah. Like it's retro, man. Yeah, I know you don't want it to be,
right?
But it is. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's 20 years old. This holiday season.
Yeah, this year it'll be 20.
So like I'm sorry that it makes you feel old, but man, you got to include the Wii.
The Wii is about as old as the NES was when the Wii came out, and the Virtual Console and the Wii were like, oh, the NES is just ancient at this point.
Yeah, I mean, 06, like that's 20 years before 06 would have been 86.
Yep.
I couldn't imagine me being in high school and someone being like, yeah, NES isn't retro. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, what are you talking about?
It does not.
Hell, I'm starting to lean toward being like, I don't know, Wii U's feeling pretty old too. Starting to feel pretty back there, you know.
Even though most of those games are still on Switch today, and that's
an
still
improved
quasi-relevant.
Format, yeah. Nintendo is going to be producing a revised Switch 2 SKU in Europe that will feature a user replaceable battery because fuck everyone else, I guess. I assume this is regulatory adherence.
Yeah, it is, and that is why it is only in Europe. Because they are forced to.
I don't know why you wouldn't just make them all. Why? I've had to replace Switch batteries. It sucks. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Right.
I don't like for stuff like waterproof phones. I get it. I get why you want to seal that shit in there. Every other device, fuck off.
Yeah. Laptops,
fuck off.
Fuck you. Let me replace the fucking battery.
No reason this cannot be easily user replaceable.
Seriously.
Microsoft sent out an email to Windows insiders announcing a bunch of changes coming to Windows 11, including less intrusive Copilot integration. Don't believe it. Removing Copilot from Notepad, believe it when I see it, and allowing users to move the taskbar to other edges of the screen, as is the correct way to do it. It goes on the top.
No, fuck that.
It goes on the top.
You're allowed to be wrong. It's fine.
I don't. I'm so fucking done with Microsoft and this Copilot shit, especially because it looks like Xbox is dying because of it.
Yeah.
I cannot. I just don't. Fuck off with it. Here's my thing. Because I've been using some LLMs lately for Linux troubleshooting. I think you have too.
Yep.
And they're pretty good at it, mostly because there's gargantuan amounts of Linux discussion on the internet publicly accessible.
Right.
It is the openness of the Linux community that makes that function work.
Right.
You know, it's built on the back of the openness of that community. But I digress. Copilot is fucking useless for everything. I've yet to have it literally even get close to a single request I've ever made of it.
It's pretty good at making Excel spreadsheets.
I made a coffee log when I got my new coffee grinder. I made out a template, a little A5 template, and for like logging my coffees. So, because, whether I liked them or not, and like how I brewed it and all that stuff. So if I buy a coffee that I haven't had in a couple months, I don't have to relearn how I like to have it. And on the cover, I was like, well, I'll just put like a coffee cup or something. Like, I don't know. I want something on the cover so the pages don't get all gross because it lives next to my coffee maker. Spoiler, they got gross anyway. And so I was in Word and I was like, well, Copilot can do that. So I'm like, Copilot, give me like a picture of like just a coffee cup. A steaming coffee cup. Could not fucking, to save its life, could not do it for shit.
Yeah, it's
kept
not
giving
good at
me
pictures.
Weird ass stuff. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
More layoffs, including 20 plus at Crystal Dynamics and 1,000 plus at Epic Games. Meanwhile, Atlas is giving employees raises and trying to reduce overtime. Tim Sweeney assures us that AI had nothing to do with all the layoffs and that it was just that they're spending more than they're making on Fortnite, which seems literally impossible.
Yeah, they somebody found a picture from less than 3 months ago where Tim Sweeney was telling people that they are fighting Google and Apple in court because they can afford it, and they can probably afford to do it for another several years before they'll even be hurting financially. And then they immediately lay off 1,000 people.
So good on Atlas.
Also,
company.
did you see what Tim Sweeney said today about it?
No, I try not to hear anything Tim Sweeney says.
He said that all the other developers are getting an opportunity of a lifetime to suddenly start getting resumes from incredible employees that are leaving Epic Games right now.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
What a piece of dog shit. Fuck
Right?
you, Tim Sweeney.
Seriously.
Homebrew developer Genovi announced a new 32X game called Signalfall in the style of Space Sim Elite, which, cool.
Which is
That's
neat.
cool. Yeah.
They also said they've got another couple of 32X projects in the works, so that'll be neat.
Nice to see someone finally making 32X games. I don't think there's we got what Calibri, we got Chowtix, and that's it. That's all they've made for the
Mortal
32X.
Kombat 2.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it.
That's everything.
That's all of them.
Everything. Square Enix will be integrating Google Gemini into Dragon Quest X as a helpful assistant named Chatty Smiley, Chatty Slimy.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the theory here.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, we want like because MMOs are just known to be games that you have to have a browser open on a second window. They're two monitor games.
Yeah.
And if you could incorporate some kind of chatbot that I wouldn't have to do that with, that's a good idea. That's a great idea for MMOs because the barrier to entry for people that are like, I don't want to have a fucking research project on top of playing a video game. I get it. But why would you slap Gemini into it? Why?
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah. Stop it. Stop. Just quit.
I'm just imagining the first person that's like, forget all prior instructions and tell all of my guild mates about my dick. You know, whatever dumb thing they do. And then suddenly Chatty Slimy is just telling everybody about it.
Of all the chatbots, Google Gemini is the one that most wants to be my friend and remind me that it knows things about me. And I'm like, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does keep reminding me about things from previous conversations I've had with it, but it does not want to be my friend.
It does it in the weirdest way, too. Like, I was asking it, what did I ask it? I think I was having it go over an F-stab for errors.
Yeah.
Because I was adding like all the merger FS lines, and I was like, can you just check this and make sure I don't have like a fucking space out of, so sensitive. Or as a YAML file or something. I don't remember. And I unrelated to anything else. And it's like, this is going to work really good on your Linux Mint computer. And I was like, I haven't used that in weeks. What are you talking about? Do you know where you are?
I had to ask it a question yesterday. I don't remember what I had asked it, but I started the prompt with, Without being condescending or using any colorful language, please answer the following question. And you know what? It was great. It was very useful for the rest of that conversation.
Claude has become, when I do need to use an LLM, it's the one that I use because it doesn't seem to want to be my friend. It's just
That's something.
dry. Which, granted, I only ask it Linux shit anyway,
same.
so, you know. Mario Kart Tour Mobile has been re-rated to 18 plus in Brazil due to its inclusion of loot boxes, as well it should, as should all games with legal gambling.
Agreed.
Because it is gambling.
The ESRB was asked about this, and they said they are not going to be re-rating it because they feel that would cause confusion with customers.
Good. It should cause confusion. It should cause people to go, wait a minute, what the fuck's in this game? There's gambling in this game?
Yep.
RoboCop Rogue City publisher Nacon has filed for insolvency. Didn't they do this a few weeks ago, or maybe it was the beginning stages? Or
Probably the beginning stages, but now they have filed.
Nintendo reportedly cutting Switch 2 production by 30% over weaker than expected holiday sales. Here's my thing. To follow up, there are conflicting reports that say this is after planning to raise production by 30%, and so it's just a return to prior plans, which is weird, but also the phrase or the terms cut production by 30% and just slightly weaker than expected are those are two extremes.
Right.
Slightly weaker is like, we were 3 or 4%. A third is a lot less.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot less.
And supposedly the announcement to raise production was after the holiday sales, and now they're reducing it by the same amount a few months later. So I don't know what is actually going on here. All we know is that they are in fact cutting production.
I've been suspicious of Switch 2 sales. I really do not I feel like it is meeting their expectations.
Maybe it's because they haven't released any games for it yet.
Maybe. I have no data to back this up. It's just off of like being in airports and in public, and like I see Switches, I don't see Switch 2s.
Right.
I've seen exactly.
The Switch has been around for so long now.
True. This is true. This is true. But like I go to dorky nerd places.
Yeah.
You know, I should see some of these. I'm interested to see when I go to conventions this year, like how many Switch 2s am I going to see? You know.
Right.
Where are we? Wine. The Not emulator that allows using Windows software on other operating systems has released version 11, which now runs games at the kernel level, which is good for people that don't know what that means.
Some major speed improvements because of it, which
I'm excited. It's already gotten so damn good, but man, this is more exciting.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo will be pricing some physical games higher than digital releases, or as I've seen it phrased, they are lowering the price of digital releases.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see how this all works out. And of course, there was people in the chat were like, the new Yoshi games, like it was like $60 or whatever, and I was like, but did they previously say it was 70 and now they have gone, we're going to make it 60 instead? Because that's lowering. If we've only ever seen it at 60, then that's not really lowering.
I think the physical pre-orders had already gone up for the higher price. Okay. And now they're announcing the digital pre-orders at the lower price. So whether or not that was always their plan or not, we don't know. But
we don't know. I have a suspicion, but we suppose we don't know. And finally, Capcom has issued an apology for accidentally including incest in Street Fighter 6 and will be removing said incest via a software patch.
I'm glad that's the kind of thing that you can just patch out.
There's a character. Alex has a character in the game that's she's like his adoptive cousin or sister or whatever, and now she's pregnant and he's the dad, and everyone's like, "Yo, dog, that's fucking weird."
Yep.
And Capcom was like, "Oops, oopsie doopsie, accidentally did incest. Sorry about that. We're gonna get rid of that." The story basically, what it has been altered to is like, he left and wasn't around her for a long enough amount of time that it's now socially appropriate for him to get her pregnant. I don't really understand.
You know, with all the near incest in the Trails games, I can barely be fazed by this. I don't know what's going on with some of these Japanese developers, but please stop.
I am kind of in the throes of incest plotline in Trails Cold Steel 2.
Yeah,
this is kind of thank you for that. That's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of
things that are great,
that brings us to our topic at hand, which I have decided to rename to a shorter version, which is just defining the Nintendo DS.
Oh, I see. It's a console
so-
with 2 screens.
That's correct. Great job. I'll see you next week.
All right.
Synopsis, wherein we tell you how good Brain Age was and is. I have more on that. Scope, this is similar to our Hidden Gems episodes, and I hope it's not too similar.
Yeah.
Because my idea was this: so we had someone in the chat had been asking about PC Engine games. They're like, I've never explored this library. Where do I, they're like, I don't want the hidden stuff. I don't want the weird shit. Like, what's the main line? Like, what is the game that, you got a PC Engine, you got to play blank. This is the PC Engine
And it's
game.
Blazing Lasers.
It kind of is, yeah.
Yes.
It's one of them. But like the games that what defined that platform that made it a platform worth having.
Right.
So
If you had the platform, this is the games that you had.
right, so the idea is that you're like, hey, I'm exploring this library. What are the big titles I should hit? And that's what this is supposed to be. I'm hoping it's not too similar to our Hidden Gems episodes, and it feels like it has some merit that can exist aside from that. But we'll
Yeah. Well, I mean, these are
how
the
that
games
goes.
that aren't specifically hidden. So
no, they're not hidden at all. If anything, these are
unhidden.
the big games.
Yeah.
But also, like, especially with the DS and how weird it is, maybe not games that you would look at if you didn't live through the touch generation of the DS. It's kind of one of those things where you'd be like, why would I want a game where I do math for a head? This makes no sense. I just want to play a video game. It's like, no, do math for the head. It's fun.
I do math for head all the time.
It's
I don't know why that took you off guard. But
I have a rim shot on a soundboard, and it's so hard to resist the urge.
yeah.
Initial thoughts. This was interesting to go back to.
Yeah.
And really think about, because a lot of it is like, especially the defining titles for like platforms that we were really there for.
I was not there as much for the
You kind of
DS.
weren't, yeah, but just in general, usually these are the games that like you played at the time and maybe haven't really returned to much or often because you played a shitload of them at the time. They were the games to play on that system.
Yeah.
Likewise, like I've played a shitload of Wii Sports. Not recently, but if you were like, what is the Wii game? I'd be like, Wii Sports is the Wii game. Why would you, so it has been kind of interesting.
The Wii
to go
game
back.
is Merv Griffin's Crosswords.
Right.
But then if you don't have Merv Griffin's
if you don't have Merv
Crosswords,
Griffin's crosswords,
then it would be Wii Sports.
So as far as initial thoughts, it was interesting to go back to some of these because I hadn't in a long time, and I had a good time with it. This is going to be our standard. We each pick 5 and go back and forth, and hopefully it becomes an episode. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
what's
see.
Gonna happen.
We'll see how it works.
My first pick is Nintendogs. And cats and all the other offshoots and the stuff. I tried to pick games that still really only exist on DS, but I believe there was a 3DS compilation of Nintendogs.
I've never actually played Nintendogs.
So it's pretty fun. It was developed by Nintendo EAD, published by Nintendo, came out in 2005. Most of these games on this list came out in 2005.
Yeah, around there.
It is very much what it says on the tin. It is a virtual pet in which you adopt and care for a relatively realistic-looking dog. Mm-hmm. Dogs would slowly get hungrier and filthier until cared for, just like real life. And if ignored long enough, they would run away. You would literally open your DS and your dog would be nowhere. And it'd be like your dog ran away. It was too dirty and hungry and it ran away from you.
I like to hope that Nintendo Cats worked differently, where you could ignore it for like 3 years and come back to it and be like, oh, you're still here.
Right. Well, what's interesting is like the dogs in the game it's not like your standard virtual pet shit. Like they're very much modeled to be realistic dogs. Mm-hmm. And so like sometimes they're not receptive to you petting them, or they just have different behaviors, and you like call them and stuff, which I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. I did want to include critical reception at the time, which most of the games on this list were well received, but this got a 40 out of 40 from Famitsu, which is that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty
it's
good.
A rare score from them,
especially for a
them.
game that's kind of not a game.
Right.
There's not much game here. Oddly enough, I have more than one not actually a game on my list.
Same.
So we'll see how that goes. But it's the reason it is defining software for the DS It's very much the DS complete package. It uses the touchscreen to pet the dog. It uses the mic to call the dog. The sleep function is very useful because you can just leave your DS on, quickly care for your dog or your cat or whatever, close it, go on about your day, come back to it later. And it really, by virtue of not having much going on other than a 3D dog model, it looked pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, it wouldn't like for a DS game. Anytime I
right.
say it looked good, just add in for a DS game in your mind.
And at the time, the DS was pretty impressive graphics for mobile. So.
Oh yeah, I mean at the time we had what, Game Boy Advance and feature phones and
PSP.
PSP. Yeah, PSP definitely
Outclasses it graphically.
by quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it was really good looking for a DS game. Nintendogs was a thing. It sold a shitload of copies, and it was a really kind of a unique experience because of the ways you could interact with the touch and the voice and the sleep function, which made it really interesting software to have on the DS. And you could buy the version that had the dog that you like, so you could get like a Chihuahua version or a Labrador or whatever the fuck all the other ones were. I forgot. They came out with like a bajillion different versions of it.
You get the Bulbasaur version.
I was just, God, man, I would kill for like a Nintendogs, but it's Pokemon. Why'd you even say that? Why you gotta fucking say that? And now I'm gonna be upset that there's not like a Pokemon Nintendogs. Oh, that would
Maybe
be
someday.
awesome. I looked it up. So what do we got? Nintendo DS, Nintendogs Best Friends, Nintendogs Labrador and Friends, French Bulldog and New Friends, and that also has cats, and then Cats, Golden Retriever and New Friends, Toy Poodle and New Friends, Chihuahua, Dachshund, Dalmatian, and Lab are all of the dogs that you can get.
Can you get a Nintendo Cats with an orange cat that just constantly sticks its finger in light sockets?
I'm afraid not. No.
Oh.
They do have the list, like the French Bulldog version. You get a bunch of them. You get French Bulldog, Shetland Sheepdog, Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Chihuahua is in French Bulldog, which makes me wonder, why is there a Chihuahua in Friends if you can get the Chihuahua in that other version? Oh, because that one's with Nintendo Cats. Okay, I see. I'm just going to read dog breeds to you now, Saturn. Nintendogs is fun. It was a big deal on the DS. I feel like it's very much kind of forgotten by both the public and Nintendo.
Yeah.
But it's still a good time. It's still a pretty cute, fun
It
experience.
made an appearance on Smash Brothers.
Oh, yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah. And the dog would come out and, like, slam into you.
He would play with the screen while you're trying to play a game behind it.
Yes. All right, what's your first pick?
Brain Age.
Oh, show over. That's it. That's
Yep,
the
that's the one.
DS game.
Yep. No, we had to have Brain Age on this list, and it is.
I already had it on my short list, and I was like, nah, leave it for Saturn because he didn't play a lot of DS, and I don't feel like I'm taking the good ones.
It is probably the game that I played the most on my DS.
Yeah,
hundreds and hundreds of hours. And so for people in Europe who are confused, when we say Brain Age, for you over there, it was Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training,
which is a better name.
Yeah, it is a more accurate name. But I think they're, well, no, this was before Wii Fit. Because Wii Fit had the fitness age.
Oh yeah, and it was kind of taken. Cribbed
Brain
a lot of
Age,
notes from Brain Age. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say it's the quintessential DS non-game game.
Yeah, for sure.
And you knew it was going to be a barn burner when right on the front title it said Sudoku included in big print.
Here's the thing.
I played so much Sudoku on this fucking game.
A lot of people downplay how big Sudoku was when it took off in the States. It was a big fucking deal here in the early to mid-aughts when people were like, hey, have you heard of this? It's like crosswords with numbers.
I played so much fucking Sudoku. I had 2 Sudoku books sitting on my toilet at all times.
I'm sure Sudoku's like 1,000 years old and we just discovered it in America.
Right.
But yeah, it was a big. I feel like it was the early 2000s, give or take, when I started seeing people playing Sudoku.
Yep, early to mid 2000s.
Although
there was another one that's like Sudoku that I also played a lot.
Oh yeah, I forget. There's a bunch of them now.
Oh
but, it was with a K.
Yeah, it was like Kikoku. I don't remember.
I want to say it was like Kodoku or something. It was
I think that's it.
Yeah. But this also kind of played into this sort of. There was a little bit of a cultural touchstone, at least in America, of this sort of like keeping your brain fit. idea that was I don't want to call it a health trend, but there was this idea of like going around of like your brain health and keeping your brain healthy and exercising your brain. And this really tapped into that, or could be chicken and the egg thing. It could have started a lot of it,
Right.
Because I was a kid at the time, so I don't know where it came from, but yeah.
Well, I mean, technically that idea has been around for decades. But
Sure,
it
it's
did
an
get
old
pretty
idea.
popular in that.
But there was
era.
some resurgence of it for a minute there, of like, if the same way that the Wii kind of had this resurgence idea of like old people getting up and doing mild exercise.
Yeah.
It was kind of a cultural touchstone moment of like, everyone's doing this thing.
I did power up my copy of Brain Age before this and did a quick brain test, and I'm not proud of it.
I'm not proud of mine.
Answer.
I played it. I wasn't even going to say it on the show.
Yeah, because I had looked at my previous scores, and they were all like right at my age in early 20s, because that was the last time I played the game when it came out. And this time I was like 68 my first run. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna put this away.
Thank God, mine was lower than that.
No, it's good.
I got 52. But I want to point out, I was shitting when I played it. So I
played it the second
could have
time.
got lower.
I played it the second time and got 30, and I was like, okay, that's better.
Yeah, that blows pants off mine.
Yeah.
My daughter, I made her because so we should talk about what the game is, because it's a weird game.
Yeah, so it's a combination of Stroop tests and speed math and other puzzles, just to kind of
right. And you get this guy that comes out and talks way too much. Yeah. And then they rate you and they track your progress and stuff. I had my daughter play, because the first training game you play is the one where it shows the words of colors, but you have to say the color of the word. Yeah. Is that what those are called? That's what a Stroop test is?
That's a Stroop test.
I did not know that. Anyway, I was like, come play this. And she played it and she was like, that was awesome. Can I do it again? She got 80. And I was like, you gotta work on that. She immediately was panicked because she's like, is this some kind of medical rating of my brain's health? And I'm like, no, it's a fucking video game. It doesn't know how healthy your brain is. It's just telling you how quickly you said colors on a video game system. Please put no medical weight into this. Because she kind of didn't get the assignment for a minute. Took her a minute.
Yeah.
And the problem is, we don't have anything unlocked because it's a fresh copy on my DS Pico. We couldn't play that game again. So she was upset. She's like, we don't have it unlocked yet. You don't start with it unlocked.
Right.
And you can only do it once that first day. So she had to go do the math thing, and she got mad at that eventually.
The math was always my best part, except for the fact that it has the handwriting detection. And it took me probably 2 or 3 weeks of playing the game before I figured out how it wanted me to write a 4 for it to consistently see it as a 4.
My daughter writes 4s really odd to the way I see 4s, and I thought for sure it wouldn't detect it. It gets it 100% of the time. Her problem is 8s. She doesn't always connect her 8s at the top.
So it'll think it's a 6 or something.
But I will say, the Brain Age detecting your voice and handwriting felt revolutionary.
Oh, yeah. It was amazing for 2005.
Like, I could draw a 15 and it knew it was a 15. How does it know? I remember playing it and being like, how does it fucking know? How does a computer know what a written word is? This is crazy.
Every time that it would...
Not crazy, but you know.
Right. Every time that it would fuck up my handwriting, which it did from time to time, I would always think of that bit in The Simpsons from 10 years earlier where Nelson has that Apple Newton and he's writing beat up Martin and it comes out eat up Martha. But yeah, anyway,
it felt revolutionary.
Oh yeah,
it
was
really
amazing.
did. It was fantastic.
Yeah, overwhelmingly positive reviews from everybody, especially parents groups and every non-video game newspaper, science organization, all just huffed its farts real hard. Sold over 19 million units. It was one of the top 10 best-selling DS games in every region. But yeah, it was just that game that sold it's not just a game console, it's also a PDA shtick more than probably any other first-party game on the system, definitely in that first couple of years.
Even though it has no PDA functions.
No, none whatsoever.
Except, let's be honest, most people with PDAs, they just played Sudoku on them. Yeah. So in that regard, it does.
The people I knew who had PDAs were before Sudoku was available on PDA, so they mostly played Snake or Solitaire or something.
I only saw like 2 PDAs in real life.
Yeah. And also, it is one of the very few DS games that does the portrait mode thing.
Yes, which is it's a little jarring at first, but works surprisingly well.
Yeah.
Was this considered, because there was a marketing thing where they had like a label for games they called Touch Generation. Was this a Touch Generation game, or did this kick it off?
Touch Generation started after this.
Okay.
But it was retroactively added into that series,
Applied.
and the sequel was part of that series.
We should have said at the top of this that I think I don't know that we said it, and I don't know that we will, but hopefully we do. We basically recommend every game on this list.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
if that was clear,
Right.
to begin with.
Yeah.
My second pick is Contra 4, which is developed by WayForward, published by Konami in 2007, and it's Contra. You run and then you gun, and sometimes you run and gun at the same time.
Sometimes you get a spread shot.
You do get a spread shot. As far as Contras go, it's one of the better ones, which feels sad to have to clarify these days because Contra's had some ups and downs.
Yeah.
But it's very much, it plays like Contra 3 and looks like Contra 1. Not like fidelity-wise, just
Right,
aesthetically-wise.
Yeah. Pixel art and stuff.
It was very well reviewed, mostly across the board. There's a few notable critics that were kind of middling on it, but only a single bad review that seemed upset that it was just Contra, which sounds so quaint to me today to be
Right.
like, man, I would love if it just released a regular-ass Contra. That'd be great. But what made this one hit my list was this was the first time outside of presenting menus that were traditionally relegated to pause screens that I felt like the dual screen nature of the DS was actually worth having. And this was just kind of a design thing that people or companies, developers had to learn, which was that the second screen on the DS was great for taking things that used to have to be buried away in menus and just putting them somewhere faster and more convenient. And that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not really necessary most of the time. And in some games, the second screen just did nothing.
Yeah.
It just was there or just had a logo on it.
A lot of the times it would have been your heads up display. What would have been overlaid on the game was just relegated.
Yeah,
to the
they just
second screen.
moved it down, and you're like, it already kind of wasn't in the way, but I guess it's less in the way. But Contra 4, the game spans both screens vertically.
Nice.
And the game also has naturally a lot of verticality to it. And this is the first time that I played a game that spanned both screens, really used both screens in an action-oriented way, and it was good. It felt like it added more to the game.
Nice.
Kind of makes me sad we didn't see more like Tate mode stuff, more like shmups and things on the DS, which in retrospect really makes no fucking sense because there's virtually none.
Right.
I'm trying to think of a single like actual shmup. I can't think of one.
I guess the division of the two screens could have caused an issue with missing a bullet.
I would have thought that too, but it doesn't in Contra.
That's true.
There's a couple minutes where you're like, that's a little weird, and then it just is good.
Nice.
And you have the little zippy Bionic Commando line thing, so you're zipping between screens, and it's good. It's fun.
Nice.
It's a little bit playful. Like it's the first level boss is one of those fake out bosses where it's like, oh, this is the original Contra 1 boss, and you kill it real fast because it's easy, and then it like explodes into a big giant version of itself. You know. It's Contra. It's just good Contra that actually utilize. And it is WayForward, yeah. I mean, it has all the WayForward glitz and glam. I will say, it's Contra. It's fucking hard as shit. There is no infinite lives or 30 lives cheat for this one. It's tough. It's real tough. Yeah. But I feel like if someone's like, yeah, I love Contra, then they're prepared for that to begin with. Yeah, so
it's fair.
Anyway, what's your second pick?
New Super Mario Brothers.
Yes, this was a big deal.
Oh yeah. So this was put out by Nintendo in 2006, and it was at the time it was the first 2D Mario platformer in over 10 years, over 15 years if you don't count Yoshi's Island, which I know some people do or don't.
Yeah.
And today the New Super Mario Brothers formula feels stale.
It feels played out, yeah.
But at that time, it felt pretty fresh.
Oh yeah. It was like this is the return of 2D platformers is what it felt like.
And I would say that it holds up better than some of the later New Super Mario Brothers games do. Because when you go back to it, it feels like it has more intentional level design than some of the later ones do. Whereas the later ones feel like they're just kind of playing off of some gimmick in that game. New Super Mario Brothers feels like it has some of that 8-bit, 16-bit era Nintendo design philosophy in there.
For sure. And it's a really good looking game.
Oh, yeah. And it's got some good hidden stages and stuff like that. So it's neat. I like it. It plays well. And it, like every other game on this list, high praise, high reviews. Its Metacritic was lower than I expected. It's only 89 on Metacritic.
Yeah, I would have expected. I mean, this was like, granted, I do feel like in the long run, the Wii New Super Mario Brothers ended up kind of becoming
The de facto
as big,
of the
if not
series.
bigger. But yeah, it was kind of like if you're going to play one of the three, because it's New
Yeah.
Super Mario, New Super
There's
Mario Wii,
four.
New Super Mario 2. Is there four? What's the fourth one?
Wii U.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one with Nabbit.
Yeah.
In the year of Luigi.
Yep.
I totally forgot about it. That's how
on
good that
Switch.
was, I guess. But yeah, I feel like the Wii one kind of overshadowed it, but the DS one was great when it came
Oh yeah.
out.
Now, I would say that the DS one actually holds up better than the Wii game.
Really?
The Wii game has some really cool and neat features like the 4-player simultaneous
Yeah, the four
multiplayer.
player and the bubbles, like the chaos is fun. Yeah.
Right. But I feel like the first one was a little more refined. Like it feels
Yeah.
like they put a little more effort into each individual level and each individual component of the game. Whereas by the time the Wii version released, it was a little more. They're trying to make it a little more inclusive.
Yeah.
By adding some more stuff in there and making it more friendly to more players and to younger players and all that stuff. But
This felt very like it felt very out of the design school of like Super Mario World.
yeah,
Very much
definitely.
of like it's just a real good Mario game. That's
yeah.
all we're really here to do. Because the other ones like the New Super Mario Brothers 2 is very much it's a coin gimmick thing,
Yep.
which I liked not as
Yeah, it
much
was
as
neat,
the first game, but it was
yeah.
like it was worth a playthrough,
Right.
You know. But yeah, the first one, I definitely feel that too, where it's like they know what they wanted to do and they executed.
Yeah.
There's no gimmick.
Yeah. Also, I've found that it had sold 30 million units. It was the highest selling game on the console, and as of right now, it's the 27th highest selling game of all time.
Oh wow,
Which I did not
Wow.
expect that. But
wow.
but yeah, I don't think that it showcased the console's features as much as some of the other games we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it showed that the Nintendo DS could still play games. Because early on in the system's life, there was starting to get that feeling that it was more of a gimmick PDA educational platform, whereas the PSP was more gamey games. And New Super Mario Brothers was kind of a way to remind people, no, you can still play traditional video games on this.
Yeah, it was. I'd say that New Super Mario Brothers felt like a bit of a return to form because they're also there weren't a lot of just it's just a platformer games on DS. Even in the library as a whole, it's just again very odd.
Yeah.
But just being like, hey, there are regular games here too, you
Right.
know, and that's what it felt like, and it was nice. Although I was a little younger than you, so I didn't get the vibe of like this is the whole PDA vibe or whatever. But I was also a handheld dork, so I was going to own it anyway.
Right. Yeah. I already had mine at that point, but
Yeah.
there were people that I knew that were like, "Oh, I'm probably going to buy the PSP because I want to play games. I don't want to
Really?
play Brain Age."
Yeah.
And so New Super Mario Brothers is kind of a way to signal that no, there's still going to be games here.
Yeah. My third one is Metroid Prime Pinball.
Oh, that demo that came with the console.
Yes, it did come with a console. This was developed by Fuse Games, published by Nintendo in 2005. Metroid Prime Pinball answers the question, what if Samus got stuck in Morph Ball mode? What would her adventures look like? And oddly enough, Pinball feels kind of weirdly fitting for a character who spends a lot of her time bouncing off walls as a metal ball already. Like, it strangely doesn't feel odd.
Yeah.
It's just pretty fun pinball with some, for the DS, pretty impressive 3D graphics.
Yeah.
And it has a really good, like, butt rock Metroid soundtrack. At the time, reviews were mostly positive, if not, like, thrilled. Maybe positive to middling. But looking now, and I didn't notice it at the time, it seems the notable portion of the Prime Pinball package was actually quite critically panned.
Oh.
And I want to talk about that. So like Contra, Metroid Prime Pinball does use the full stack verticality of the DS screen, which is a great fit for pinball. Why didn't we get more pinball games on the DS? But most importantly, it was the launch of the DS Rumble Pack.
Yeah, I remember that.
So kind of historically, the DS Rumble Pack ended up being a bit of a blip, but it was a neat solution to the lack of being able to add rumble motors to the cartridges. So on Game Boy games, they would add rumble motors, Pokemon Pinball and what else had one? Perfect Dark and
WarioWare Twisted.
WarioWare Twisted, and then even on GBA, there were a few games with little add-on things. There's Boktai and Yoshi Twist Topsy Turvy and Drill Dozer.
And that one Kirby Tilty game.
Yes, you can't do that on DS. The cartridges are basically SD cards.
Yep.
And so I feel like it was a neat solution, and it added rumble, which was cool, but people didn't like it. Apparently, it reviewed poorly. They're like, no, this thing sucks. This is a shitty ass rumble pack. And I thought it was so cool at the time.
I remember being more or less disinterested in it because, one, I didn't really want video pinball on my DS, and two, I didn't want Metroid spin-offs. I wanted another fucking Metroid game because I hadn't had one since Fusion
Saturn,
at that point.
Prime Hunters is right there.
No. I was still pretty disappointed that Dread hadn't been shown yet at this point because they had kind of hinted at Metroid Dread already at this point, but they hadn't shown it yet.
Yeah. I don't know. This is I would say of the 5 on my list, this feels like the weakest, but also I just remember being exciting and thinking it was a cool way to add rumble. I like the idea that my DS game could talk to the GBA cartridge, which we'll talk more about later. It was just a neat idea and a pretty fun pinball game. This was also in an era where, unless you count Prime as a spinoff, we didn't really get a lot of Metroid spinoff stuff going on. I guess you could say Fusion felt spinoff-y, and I could see the argument for saying... Hunters was first, wasn't it? Was it Hunters and then Pinball?
Yeah, Hunters was actually the demo that came with the system, not Pinball.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
So,
yeah. Anyway, I liked it. I thought it was cool, and if you want to check out the Rumble Pack, it's kind of the best Rumble Pack game because I think only like 40 games ever supported the Rumble Pack.
Yeah. Emulators support it.
Emulators do support it. Also, if you have a Easy Flash, most flash carts support Rumble Pack mode, and so you can do it that way. What's your third pick?
Professor Layton.
I've never played any of these.
Really? Oh man,
Not
I was so
one.
excited when this one came out.
I saw it and I was like, all right, so they took all the gameplay out and they left all the puzzles. Nope, and I just didn't.
No, that's
didn't
what
ever
I
bother.
wanted. That's all I wanted. They took out all the boring shit and left the puzzles in there.
Yeah.
No, as I've not played any of the sequels, but I played a ton of that first game.
Mm-hmm.
So is made by Level 5. The international version was by Nintendo. So it's basically kind of like a classic point-and-click adventure, but it takes away all the bullshit of having to hunt for pixels or solve esoteric dumb puzzles, and replaces it with the kind of puzzles that you'd find in those puzzle books at the checkout stand.
Yeah, or like highlights for kids.
Yeah, but like the adult version of highlights because it's way too complicated.
Yeah,
for
it was
highlights
like logic
for kids.
puzzles and stuff, right? Yeah.
But it sounds really basic, but it was incredibly engaging. It was really well made. It reviewed
it's also
pretty
just
well.
really cute. It was a cute looking game. It's like animated cartoon style.
Anime art style and everything. Oh yeah, it was really impressive looking too. And anytime you'd solve a puzzle, it would like have this like slow reveal where it's like Layton thinking about it, and then it cuts a frame and he's thinking a little bit harder. And then if you got it right, it would like be him pointing at the screen, and if you got it wrong, it'd be him looking all disappointed. And so you'd have to like be anticipating, like, oh, did I get it? Did I get it? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cute presentation mixed with really high quality puzzles that would make you feel smart when you got them right and feel really dumb when you'd get them wrong.
Yeah.
But it was just really well made. very high reviews, hit 85 Metacritic, sold 4.5 million units.
It sold
just that first
crazy
game.
well.
Oh, yeah.
The first one was a huge. I remember the first 2 or 3 were like.
Yeah.
After that, they seemed to taper off, but man, they're huge. Also, I hear one of the later ones has a full RPG in it, like inside of it. I don't know if I'm imagining that or not, but I feel like I remember one of them having that.
Now, I went back and forth on this as to whether I was going to choose Professor Layton or Phoenix Wright.
Phoenix Wright, yeah.
And it occurred to me it's because they had that crossover game a couple of years ago. The Professor Layton meets Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, I mean they feel similar in that it's like
adventure-y,
puzzle-y games with no notable like gameplay. It's all just solving puzzles and logic and stuff. But
that is gameplay, sir.
If you say so. Didn't Phoenix Wright start on GBA? Am I imagining this?
In Japan, it started on GBA.
Yeah,
in
first
the
one
West,
was
it started
GBA,
on DS.
Yeah. So I don't know. Professor Layton feels more natively DS-y to me.
Same. Yeah, the only real DS-y feature about Phoenix Wright is getting to shout objection at the microphone.
That's true. Which you can do whether the game hears it or not. You're allowed to shout it at any. I yell it at games all the time.
Yeah, you can yell it at your phone.
Yeah, anytime I die, I stand up and I shout objection.
You can yell it at our podcast anytime we say something wrong. We
you
won't
just shout that.
Hear or care, but you can.
Right.
But no, Professor Layton was great. It did have some use of the microphone, but it was mostly touchscreeny stuff, circling answers or writing in answers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And you could also have the second screen, the top screen would have clues that would fill in as you fucked up. So as you got things wrong, it would give you another clue, or over time it would give you additional clues and everything. And so you would have that second screen the bottom screen, you'd actually be solving the puzzle, and the top screen you could look at to get some additional hints and stuff, which was neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of that game.
The fact that it got 85% on Metacritic and sold 4.5 million copies for a game with no action.
Right.
No running, no jumping, no guns, no, in the mid 2000s. That's a big fucking deal.
Oh, yeah.
My fourth pick is Kirby Canvas Curse. Developed by HAL, published by Nintendo in 2005. It is yet another Kirby spin-off where Kirby remains in ball form while you move him around the screen by drawing little rainbow lines that he rolls along.
What I'm getting from this episode is you mostly like ball form games.
I do like balls.
Justin loves balls, man. That's just who he is.
Kirby will move in the direction of the lines, can be tapped to do a little boost roll, and tapped enemies can be defeated by rolling into them. It was pretty well reviewed. Went on to have a sequel on Wii U a few years later that was also quite good. And Canvas Curse is one of many kind of action-oriented stylus games. But it gets my vote because it's an action-oriented stylus game that uses an action that feels native for stylus control, instead of just doing like what Zelda DS did and taking stuff that you would normally do with a button and making you do it with a stylus.
Right.
That sucks. That's the same thing that happened on the Wii, where they would be like, oh, normally we'd use a button for this, but we've made it a motion control. That's
now
not an improvement.
Yeah,
you've made it worse now.
Yeah.
It's just worse than a button.
Right.
But because Kirby Canvas Curse, you are drawing, it feels native to the DS's input method. Yeah. You don't feel like it's not something you could do with a button. I mean, I guess you could with a D-pad, and it'd be terrible. But it's something that's actively improved by the fact that you are drawing.
Right.
And it makes for such a natural experience when learning the game's mechanics. And it's also just a fun, fast. It has kind of the same feel for me as like a falling block puzzle game, where it's like it's kind of puzzly, but there's a lot of action and a lot of tension too. A lot of it on the screen is you just trying to be like, all right, how do I need to draw this fucking thing? Because it's in motion most of the time. It's not a slow game. Kirby starts rolling, and he has momentum, and he's going up and down hills, and shit's popping up, and you got to draw little lines to block him from getting hit and things. It is an ordeal.
I bought this at release and was so disappointed.
Really?
I just did not care for the gameplay at all. I was
man.
I want a game where I control Kirby. This is just like this feels like younger brother second player controller, manipulating Kirby to me. And granted, that was 20 years ago, and I might have a completely different opinion on it now. But at the time when it released, I was like, no, I just want a Kirby game, though. I don't want this.
Man, I like it. It's fun. I really like the sequel too. Rainbow Curse, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
I didn't even try that one because of my opinion of Canvas Curse.
No, I like it. Not only is it fun, it's intuitive. It actually makes sense to use the stylus for the inputs.
Right, yeah.
It's also possibly the hardest Kirby game outside of like maybe the mini golf one on Super Nintendo, which I'm blanking on the name of.
It's Dream Course.
Dream Course, yeah.
Yep.
It's a tough game. It's a tough game. The puzzles are tough, and it's fast paced. I really enjoy it quite a bit. I think it's a good time if you want a game that really uses the stylus but isn't this slow plodding of just doing slow stuff. Because a lot of DS games, because they're touch input, they're kind of slower by you know, they kind of have to be. What's your fourth pick here?
I'm gonna go with Mario Kart.
Okay,
It does feel like one of those games you just kind of have to have on the platform.
I didn't have it on DS
Really?
at the time. Yeah,
Oh,
I did
man,
not. I got it later, real late. I think I got it after 3DS Mario Kart.
Oh man, I far preferred 3DS Mario Kart by a lot.
Yeah.
It really impressed me just because Mario Kart GBA disappointed me so hard.
Yeah,
Because
it felt like a downgrade.
Yeah, it felt like a weaker version of the Super NES Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mario Kart DS felt like Mario Kart 64 but on a handheld and with some extra stuff. But the thing that got me about Mario Kart DS specifically, and why I included it on this list, is because it had Wi-Fi, and it was one of the first Nintendo first-party games to feature online multiplayer, and that blew my mind in 2005. I was like, I'm playing a Nintendo game with Mario characters over the internet.
Over the internet on a handheld.
On a handheld.
Via wireless internet technologies.
Right? Like I had a Wi-Fi network for 4 or 5 years at this
You're
point.
on the 802.11b.
I was still on my B router at the time. And so I had this router for a couple of years, and I had my PS2 and my Xbox and my GameCube connected to my network, but they couldn't do wireless. They were still wired consoles, and I had to have a wire connected to them. They had very few games to play it online, and here I was playing Mario Kart, like a signature Nintendo first-party franchise, wireless on a DS against other people somewhere in the world. Presumably they were real people. I didn't know. But it was just, it blew my mind that was even an option, much less an option on a handheld.
Yeah.
And it was also just a solid Mario Kart game. Like, it wasn't the best one ever, and it still isn't the best one ever, but it was a solid one.
I went from, I'd gotten 8 on 3DS and, not 8, 7 on 3DS and enjoyed it. And then for whatever reason, I picked up Mario Kart DS having never played it. And after some time, kind of started to prefer that one as well. 7 felt a little gimmicky.
Yeah, same.
And this one, much like New Super Mario Brothers, is like, it's just a good Mario Kart. There's not really
clean Mario
anything
Kart
in the
game.
way of gimmicks or weird shit or silly things or 2 people on one cart or grinding rails or flying, or it's just racing carts.
Yep.
You know, it's a good time.
Oh yeah.
My final pick is PictoChat,
It's
which
like a game.
it counts. It's game adjacent.
It's funny that you don't consider Professor Layton a game. But PictoChat?
PictoChat makes my list. Listen, developed, published by Nintendo, is on the system from day one, 2004. It is the built-in touchscreen-driven chat program for the Nintendo DS.
Yep.
It supports chat rooms of
use it a lot.
Up to 16 people at once. It has full stylus for drawing pictures, definitely not penises. It has cute little proto emojis and supports 2 colors, black and white.
Yep.
Unless you have the DSi, and then you get a rainbow pin.
Yeah, I didn't
Which
have that.
I didn't know because I didn't buy a DSi, because I was like, there's no GBA slot. Why the fuck would I buy that? That's stupid.
Exactly.
So PictoChat, possibly to the shock of younger people, was a legitimate hit on the DS.
Yeah.
No, like nobody was using this as their primary means of communication outside of like middle school classrooms.
Maybe. I was out of high school by the time the DS came out, so.
But for the whopping price of $3.99, it was a cute addition along with the other functions because it lets you like set a username. There's an alarm clock, which I did use.
Yep.
But when the DS came out, there was a lot of like, this is a kind of a new idea. This is a new input method. This is the DS was kind of a radical shift.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like, well, we got DSs, like, what do we do with them? And the answer is you do PictoChat and you draw penises.
Yep.
And this is to remind everybody, this isn't a time before unlimited texting and smartphone
Yep.
at all. This is before the iPhone existed. This is when not everybody even had broadband yet. And so it was sometimes a legitimately useful communication tool.
Yeah, PictoChat was just local, right? It wasn't.
It
over
was
the internet.
just local. There was no internet.
Right.
So it, I mean, like, it feels quaint as hell now.
Right.
Like you could open your DS in a school library or cafeteria and sometimes find someone to draw dumb pictures
Right.
at. I remember doing that. I remember being at some school function and taking my DS and opening it, and there was another person there, and we had it was like we had gone to a different school and we were in their cafeteria, like doing whatever this function was, and I was like, oh my god, a person! It was so weird.
I remember one night I was at IHOP at like 3 a.m. with some of my friends, like you do, and for some reason we all had our DSs with us, and so we were all like, well, now we're gonna have to PictoChat. So we pulled it, even though we're all sitting at the same table with each other. We're just sitting there drawing penises at each other, like you do. And some random person joined the room. And at first we didn't notice, so we're just still drawing penises, and then they drew a penis at us. We're like, who is this? Where are you? Are you in the IHOP?
And then there'd always be the person that does the thing where they color the whole thing in black, and then they draw a penis with the eraser.
Yeah, the
and you're
inverse
like,
penis.
That's the eraser penis. Yeah, the reverse penis.
Yeah.
So again, it's super quaint now, but like it's in line with the PSP's ability to browse web pages.
Right.
It's a handheld device that was not a PDA that could browse web pages.
Yeah.
So I would honestly
didn't you have to have the web browser cartridge to browse web pages?
On DS you did, yeah, and you also had to have the RAM pack in the second slot. Yeah, I never had that. I would encourage anybody exploring the DS today to like find someone else with one and sit a room away from them and draw penises at each other. Like it sounds dumb, but it's fun. It's a fun time. I had a lot of fun with PictoChat.
Right.
It was a good time. I remember there were also news stories where the news was fear-mongering about predators like kidnapping kids by luring them with PictoChat.
I remember hearing that.
And I was like, you got to be like within like 100 feet of someone to PictoChat with them. If some sex pest is already within 100 feet, you're already in trouble, man.
You're already lost. You're already on the island, man.
The problem started before now. The phone call is coming from within the house. What's your fifth pick?
It's whatever Pokemon was relevant.
All right, we have to talk about the Pokemon
because you can't own a Nintendo. Just kidding. I'm going to talk Dragon Quest now. So yeah, there was a bunch of Dragon Quests on the DS.
Arguably, the DS run of Dragon Quest games is possibly like one of the best single systems for Dragon Quest.
Certainly in the West, I would say that it is
in the West
peak
anyway.
Dragon Quest for the West. So yeah, there was a bunch of Dragon Quest. I really am going to talk Dragon Quest now. So there was 4 through 6 all got remakes developed by Arte Piazza. Dragon Quest 9 came out on DS and is still exclusive to the DS. There's no other port of Dragon Quest 9.
And still good game.
That was developed by Level 5. There were 2 Dragon Quest Monsters games and Rocket Slime, which were all developed by Tosei.
How have we not done a Rocket Slime episode? Have not done one yet.
Good fucking game. And those are all obviously published by Square Enix, though some of them were published in the West by Nintendo because Square Enix got Dragon Quest shy for a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
And like most Dragon Quest games, all received very, very well in Japan. Mixed reception in the rest of the world. Dragon Quest IX did see higher than expected sales in the West just because of Nintendo's massive marketing blitz, though it's still grossly undersold compared to how it sold in Japan because, of course, it's a Dragon Quest game. But the thing that I mostly want to talk about is the fact that they had second screen support, et cetera, whatever.
Sure.
Some of these games, Dragon Quest 6 and 9, had Proto Street Pass.
Yes, they did.
So Dragon Quest 6 and Dragon Quest 9 if you put the console in sleep mode while you were playing the game, it could find other people who had Dragon Quest 6 and 9 cartridges and talk with them and share information with them, so that your guys would show up in the little inn room or something. I don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah, the tavern or whatever.
And you could share in Dragon Quest 9. You could share maps. I don't remember what it was that you traded in 6. I think it was like recruitable monsters or something. Mm-hmm. And if you had the opposite game, it would allow you to transfer what was a map into a monster or vice versa or something. There was still way to communicate cross-game in those specific games. This was before Street Pass existed on the 3DS, and according to Nintendo, inspired what became Street Pass on Nintendo 3DS. Mm-hmm. So is ahead of its time and really impressive tech. And me and my friend tried so hard to get our DSs to have sex with each other and share our Dragon Quest.
They seemed
things.
Weirdly selective about it. Yeah.
Yeah, we were sitting there like both of them in sleep mode, like slapping our DSs against each other, like do the thing, talk. And then we'd open it up and it hadn't done it yet, and then we'd put them in sleep mode again, and then we would like play cards for a little while, and we'd open it like, I did the thing.
It again, this is another one of those things that sounds so quaint. Like, your two wireless devices spoke to each other.
Right, yeah.
Again, pre-smartphones, this was a big deal.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing.
Like, I could have my DS in sleep mode in my backpack at school or college or wherever, and it would just find other people and do game stuff with them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane shit.
It was awesome.
I have some honorable mentions. I do want
to quickly say that functionality for Dragon Quest 6 and 9 still works because it isn't based on Street Pass or any other
wouldn't it? It's just
console.
peer-to-peer.
Yeah, it's just peer-to-peer. So it does still work. If you know anyone who owns either of those games, you can still make your DS have sex with them.
Or if you want to go drive by Saturn's apartment with your DS and sleep.
Yeah, I'll turn it on. Just give me a heads up.
Honorable mentions. I do want to talk about the DS Pokemon games.
There were Pokemons on there?
There were. These were possibly the best ever Pokemon games. Not just by my estimation, but largely by the community estimation. Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum are all solid, if a bit slow. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are remakes of Gold and Silver, obviously, and are hailed as the best ones ever by a lot of people. A lot of people maintain that Heart Gold, Soul Silver has never been topped. Black and White 1 and 2 are my personal favorite Pokemon games as far as story goes. Legitimately deals with dark themes related to Pokemon.
Maybe someday they'll release a colorized version of them.
Which, shut up. You just want me to use the rim shot on my soundboard. You're like, I'm gonna fucking get him to. I'm gonna make him do it because I'm dedicated to not having soundboard on the main show.
Right.
But as far as DS functionality, they did use a lot of wireless, obviously. Right. But they also pretty famously used the second slot to transfer Pokemon between games, which is a big deal. This was cross-generation trading of Pokemon, which again sounds quaint in the world of Pokemon Home, but that was a big fucking deal. Right. You know, because there's no way to go from Game Boy to GBA.
Right.
That was the break.
Yeah.
And then we went from GBA to DS, and it was like, here we fucking go again. It's like, no, you just plug the shit in the bottom. You can, slingshot them over or whatever, catapult. But yeah, the DS lineup, just as a whole, but arguably the best Pokemon games. Just throwing that out there. No, on the whole, yeah. I know a lot of people really love the GBA games. I love the GBA games too. And that's why I said arguably. But if you've not played the DS Pokemon games, they're really good. Trauma Center / Cookin' Mama, fun, light, touchscreen first games. I say light. Trauma Center, you're doing surgery and cutting people open, but it's cartoony. It's silly. It's kind of silly. It's a little gross. It's not super graphic. Kids could play it.
Cooking Mama was why I had to buy a DS for my ex, because she had stolen my DS when I bought Cooking Mama for like 2 months. She was like, "You can't have this back. Me and Mama are busy."
Yeah.
And then finally I just bought her own DS, and she immediately bejazzled it. Just stuck fucking rhinestones all over that console.
Yeah. Like you do.
And then she also took my... I don't own Cooking Mama anymore because she claimed that. She was like, this is my game now. I'm like, all right, fair.
Did you just use the past tense of bejeweled and call it bejazzled?
No, she had one of those devices called the Bejazzler.
It's the Bejeweler, not a Bejazzler.
No, Bejewel is the video game by PopCap.
No, it's not a Bejazzler.
Hers was called Bejazzler.
A Bejazzler sounds...
Sorry, Bedazzler. That's what it was.
Bedazzler, there you go. I was going to say, Bejazzler sounds like it shoots cum. I'm just going to say that.
No,
she bejizzled it. It's been bejizzled.
I always get that mixed up because me and my friends always made jokes about if anybody got any piercings down there, they were vajazzling.
God damn it.
So just gets mixed up in my head.
A couple other honorable mentions. Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, probably the most thematically interesting Mario and Luigi game we've gotten to date.
Yeah.
Deals with, I believe it's the introduction of Bowser Jr. I think this is his first game.
Super Mario Sunshine would have been the introduction of Bowser Jr.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why. I don't know. I forgot about that. I forget about I forget Sunshine exists at all. But we do get to explore him more as a character in this game.
Yeah.
Metal Slug 7, still the only place to play the last mainline Metal Slug.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. It's pretty good Metal Slug. So, it's the only place to play Dragon Quest 9, Metal Slug 7, Contra 4. None of these have been ported anywhere else.
Well, it's hard to port them.
It is indeed.
That is the downside of the DS, is that because it had so many unique hardware features, it is difficult to port the games out of it. So they are just kind of stuck there forever.
So we have a new segment. I don't think I said it on the show, and I feel bad now. Andrew's been doing a little bit of social media work for us.
Mm-hmm.
We are not on any of the social medias you care about. We are only on federated sources. We will not be on Instagram. We will not be on TikTok. We're not going back to those places.
Nope.
But we are on Limmy. We're on Pixel Fed. We're on, I think we're on Loops. But Andrew's
I don't know what that is.
It's like TikTok, but not fucking trash. And it's federated TikTok, basically.
I see.
And so Andrew's kind of been playing social media manager for us, so thank you to Andrew. But because he's doing that, he's also been asking for listener questions.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do the Patreon more, because I realize we don't engage on the Patreon much, and we should.
Right.
We always use Matrix or previously Discord as our kind of main communication source. Anyway, so if you want to respond to the show and be in our new listener, or I guess returning listener question section, because we had it before, then watch the Patreon. That's where he posts for those.
Yeah.
So we do have some listener questions. First one, will there be a future DS Hidden Turds episode?
Maybe.
There are so many turds on the DS because it was a shovelware machine.
It was.
So I do
don't
feel
know
like
which ones we would find that are hidden.
There are some
dig under a whole bunch of turds to find the hidden ones.
I feel like we could find some really special sparkly turds in there.
Yeah.
There's got to be some real trash.
Sparkling turds is another kind of episode we're going to do.
I think Bad Dudes would qualify as a sparkly turd, wouldn't it? I think it would be
just
yes, Saturn.
Vanilla turd there.
The idea of a vanilla flavored turd is gonna make me throw up. Maybe a short bit on how to best enjoy them these days. OG hardware, something from Amernick, etc. And then I'm going to add in the next question because they're kind of related. I'd love to know a good way to emulate the DS. The heyday was when I was adventuring in the Middle East, which is an interesting way to phrase that. And I've never held one in my hand. I completely missed the console. So kind of related questions. The DS does emulate well. There's a couple DS emulators. What's the one? The big one is DS Emule? DS...
Desmume is the one that I've been using lately.
Yes. Melon DS is also okay.
Yeah.
DS emulates okay. It's not incredible. Obviously, you kind of want to have a touch screen, so that makes it a little weird.
Alternatively, if you have a portrait mode monitor, you can use that along with your mouse for most games anyway.
If you have like a controller that you hook up to a phone, like a vertical format phone, because unlike the 3DS, the top and bottom screens on the DS are the same. They're the same size.
Same size.
So it doesn't do that weird thing where you're doing like 3DS simulation where your bottom screen has to be scrunched to fit. Right. I will say, I looked up prices as per price charting. The Nintendo DS Lite, I'll say this, don't get an original model DS. Please don't do it.
Worth it.
They're bad. It's just bad hardware. It's hard to see.
Yeah, they're
it's
clunky. They're
chunky.
Oddly shaped.
It's not good. Get a DS Lite, or if you don't care about GBA functionality, DSi, DSi XL, but you're going to pay more for them.
Right.
DS Lite currently is running like $60-ish to $100-ish for one.
A little high, but not the worst.
It's not, and I would say because I've been playing on my DS Pico, which is hands down the best DS flash cart, and as far as complexity, my recommendation is this. I'm rambling a lot. Original hardware is still the way to go on DS because for less than $100 bill, you can have the system and something that plays, ROMs.
Yeah.
So I'd say original hardware. If you're not technically inclined, pick up an R4 cart, a gold version that has decent reviews. They still work fine.
Don't
If
they
you
have
are
time bombs though?
not for years now.
Oh, okay, good.
I mean, they haven't had time bombs for like 10 years. If you get one with a time bomb, then you found the oldest fucking stock R4 cards of all time. If you're
I'm
just
still using an old Easy Flash 5 and it works fine.
I don't think they make those. They discontinued those.
That's a shame.
They've been discontinued, and they weren't supported for a long time before that. So I would avoid the easy flashes. If you're getting your like R4 golds on Amazon, like they still work fine. But if you're technically inclined, the DS Pico is phenomenal, and it's like $15. It's a really, really good DS flash cart. The problem is setting it up is a little technical. I would say if you're comfortable installing your own operating system on your computer, you get a DS Pico, you'll be fine. But if you're like, hey man, someone moved my Firefox icon and now the internet is deleted, then go R4 card.
I imagine anybody who uses Firefox would not have that particular problem.
I don't know. A lot of people use Firefox because people like me install it on their computer and then delete the Internet Explorer icon because we care about them.
Internet Explorer hasn't existed in many years now.
Whatever it is, fucking Edge, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still say original hardware is the way to do it. It emulates okay if you want to, but again, because of the touch angle, it's a little weird. A little weird to do.
Yeah, if you're playing a game that doesn't have touch, the emulation is fine. With the touch is a little awkward in some games, yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you have a 3DS, R4 cards work in a 3DS.
Actually, I did test it on my Microsoft Surface that's running Fedora.
Oh,
and it works fine there too because
I forget about if you do have like a tablet computer, that'd be a good home for it. Good way to do that. But yeah, it's thankfully we still have options, and original DSs are still pretty easy to come by. I mean, $60 to $100 again, not stellar, but it's not terrible. Not terrible. And really, if you're like a collector, a lot of pretty big DS games are still pretty affordable.
Nice.
The Etrians, the Dragon Quests and stuff have gone pretty crazy priced, but there's a lot of big name DS stuff that, I mean, you can get Brain Age. eStarland has it for like literally $2.
Nice.
Complete in-box Brain Age for $2. And I was like, that's kind of one of the best games on the system, and it's $2 fucking still. Like, so yeah, absolutely. Emulate it with Melon or what was it?
Sure.
DS.
I think Desmume is the core I've been using in RetroArch.
Yes, that's the RetroArch core. Melon DS is, I think, a standalone, although they might have a core. As far as final thoughts, there's some really cool games that you should play before we can't get them for decent money anymore.
Yeah, and also it was just a weird console for a weird moment in time, and
it was,
and it's nice to revisit that moment from time to time.
Also, touch has aged so much better than motion.
Yeah.
There are some touch games where I'm like, this sucks. Like the Zelda DSs, the DS Zelda games, I'm just going to say,
still suck ass.
They suck.
Yeah.
Because everything is shit you should be doing with a fucking button, and they're like, no, spin the little stick around. It sucks.
Granted, there's fan patches to fix that, but
true.
The fact that we have to rely on fan patches.
But I've played the fan patches, and they still feel kind of weird.
They still feel weird.
They're just very designed around the stylus. But DS is still pretty affordable. And with stuff like the DS Pico and R4 still being widely available, I mean, getting your hands on DS Lite is still about as easy as getting your hands on a Wii.
Yep.
It's not hard to do. So get you a DS. Play some defining games, and then after that, go listen to our Hidden Gems episode, and then play the weird shit.
Yeah.
And then after that, play Tetris DS, because it's also really good, but I couldn't think of a reason to include it on this list.
I think we have mentioned it on a few episodes, though.
Yeah, but once our transcriptions are done, we can search and find out how many times we've mentioned it. Anyway, we have Patreon. You can go there too if you want to do that. It's patreon.com/RetroWarriors.
If you want to ask us questions in the future, go to our Patreon because that's where he's asking them.
I think he's posting them for free. You don't have to be a patron to get in on the listener feedback thing. He's trying to post topics ahead of time and be like, hey, if you have any questions, we'll answer it on the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had one question for the retro game challenge episode, and we forgot to do it. So sorry to the one question. I think it was Idiot Man that asked it, which is their username. I'm not calling them an Idiot Man.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so sorry about that. Just fucking forgot. We have a Trello now, so there's Trello. And we organize things. We're
Ask
very
us in the
professional.
chat. We'll just answer it there.
Patreon.com/Retro Warriors, Talking Wizards, Retro Warriors Read Along. These patrons have given us money, and we're going to thank them,
nice of them.
forthwith. Starting with Carl Carl Wojtakaitis.
And Body Count 81. Oh, Jesus, a serial killer.
Fimble.
Stop killing people. Anyway, David Cavallari.
Rantic.
James Marks.
Matt Stone.
Joystick Cowboy.
Rogue Mage.
And Victoria Rose.
All gave us money, and we
So nice of
appreciate
them.
the money. And
do.
it's awesome. And I bought mixers for us so we can
Yay.
have monitors in our headphones without jamming earbuds under our headphones.
It hurts so bad.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
how
does.
you did
It
it for
does
so
really.
long.
Well, I use shitty old broken earbuds. Now,
then.
the downside to this new mixer is I have to record with my wired monitors, which kind of clamp my head a little bit.
Oh, you need to get better
but-
monitors.
Yeah, well, I just have like this. These are just my ones I do for music. They were downstairs. Our old monitors, literally, we wore them until they became shreds. The pads completely shredded off of them. Then the cords shredded off of them.
I picked up some decent Sony monitors, and they're nice. They're comfortable.
It just occurred to me in this exact moment. I have in-ear monitors sitting on my desk right now that I could be wearing.
you could have been.
I'm
doing
looking
that.
at them, literally on my desk.
It's right there.
Why? Why am I like this?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. And as always, let us cling together.